Hey, for everyone watching, this is Alex with Malone Automotive. Sorry, we haven't moved into our new space yet, so we're still working in kind of a small space, no lift, still using a jack for right now. Today, this is a Daihatsu HiJet S110P. This also applies to the S100P as well. We're going to be replacing the center drag link. I'll post the actual part numbers and where to get them in the description. We're also doing the center support bushing. First steps first, I already did this part, so I'll just kind of go over it real quick with you guys. You want to get the bumper off just for extra viewing, right? You don't want to be laying under here and you have, this shield of the bumper right in your face, right? So we're going to be working with this thing right here. This is going to be your drag link. Sorry. Got some traffic here. Yeah, we're going to be replacing that drag link right there. The bushings go bad and they bind. So when you turn the wheel, tight turn, you're making a U-turn, you might hear some popping. Some squeaks, things like that. So this has really, really bad amounts of binding. When I'm turning the wheel, you can just feel it. So I had my other tech turn the wheel while I was holding that drag link, and you can feel it in your hand just popping back and forth. So it's not super expensive, and it's definitely a good quality of life fix. So first things first, when you're getting the bumper off, right? You got your bumper, and there's going to be just a couple screws. There's going to be one down here, one up here, and same thing here, one there and one there, right? So, and of course you have these two connectors. These two connectors are really easy to get out. Just set it down nice so it doesn't get scratched up or anything. You're gonna open the door first. And right here, it's already out now, but you can see the wear. That's gonna be your first bolt right there. And then your second one is gonna be here on the bottom edge. You'll be able to see this, no problem, even with the bumper on. Just get down the edge, you'll see it right there. It's gonna be the same thing on the other side. And then the actual connectors themselves are very simple. Got a little tab right there. You push that, they come right off, and the whole bumper just wants to fall right off. You'll have a ton of room. So once you're under here, already got this first bolt out. This is gonna be a 19. You can see the bushing's all cracked and torn. It's seen better days, right? So that's gonna be a 19, and the problem is that the nut is here, so you're gonna wanna hold it from the top. That's also a 19 for the actual bolt head itself. Problem is the bolt head doesn't have a lot of clearance, so this will actually swing back and forth as you turn the steering wheel. So I turned the steering wheel all the way to what would be on USDM cars, the driver's side, but in this case it's the passenger side. Turned it all the way over there, and that gave me clearance to get this one out. Just pushed the bolt right to the bottom, came right out. This side not so easy, right? So it's here, and you can see it's hitting, and it's so close. We're right there. I might be able to finesse it a little bit with a pry bar or something. I'm not trying to pry too much, but it's very, very close. Once I can get that out, this will come right out. So I'll film as soon as I get this little piece out, and I'll show you guys how I did it. All right, so how I'm gonna go about doing this here is, you can see this bolt, I got it some of the way out, right? It's right there on the top, and there was a hard line right above it. It was that line right here. And they're kind of soft. I mean, you can bend them a little bit, right? You don't want to break them, you don't flex them too much. But I can bend it, I mean, you can see that gap right there. It's like 1/4 of an inch, just enough to get it out of the way. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a small punch, this size right here. You can see how small it is in my hand. I'm gonna put it right there in the middle of it. I don't want to damage the bolt or anything, right? So right in the middle of it, and just give it a quick little tap with a hammer. So you can see how tight that is, the line. Flex the first one out of the way a little bit. Yours might need a little bit of flexing on the top too. Mine did not. You don't have to take the bolt all the way out, right? It's gonna hit up there if you do. So just kind of leave it in place. You can see it's right there. Gives you just enough room to get this drag link out. So we'll go ahead and get this one back in. Give me 2 seconds here, okay? And I'll put this back in, show you what the finished product looks like. So it's crucial when you're actually going to put these back in, you get them right? You see how there's like little notches, right? Clearancing's sake. The smooth one, the one that's just a nice circle, that's actually the one that goes here in the front. So we'll get back under here, I'll show you how it goes. So this one, round circle one, it's gonna go here in this front one closest to the actual bellow on the boot. So I'm gonna try to set this down and get a decent view at least if I can. It's kind of hard, I'm not working with a mount because I'm not on a lift. So, all right, so get the front in first. Oh, there goes that bolt. The back should come right into place, no problem here. Let me see, I might have to mess with it a little bit. These are nice and brand new and tight, right? So this is gonna be a little bit. So I need a little bit of encouragement here. I'm just gonna give it a little tap with a dead blow right here in the end. I don't want to damage anything. So give it a few little taps, knock it into place. Okay, so I gave it one little tap, went in super easy here in the back. Here in the front, what I ended up doing is I took a small screwdriver, pry bar, whatever you want to use, fit it here on the end. You can see that bolt right there, there's very little clearance, right? See that little tiny gap? I fit it right in here, pushed just a smidge to kind of get it at the angle I needed to get this in right there. Okay, so when you're doing this, make sure you do not put this on the bottom, right? A lot of people might be, you know, thinking, hey, it's gonna be easier next time to get it out. You can't, right? This right here, the head of the actual bolt, is skinnier than the actual nut that you connect them with, right? So I'll try to showcase this real quick. Oops, sorry. So you can see the actual thickness difference, right? So the clearance right here by the frame is actually so tight that it would hit. So this has to go back in with the bolt head on the top. If you're having problems getting the hole lined up on either one of them, I'm using a snap-on mini pry bar right here with the straight edge, but you can use whatever you got. Just be careful not to, you know, bend or break or anything. So I can just kind of straighten this the way I need to. Make sure it goes all the way through. You can see it going through. And just, you know, do what you got to do to get the hole lined up. And then it's going to require a little bit of finesse on this one. That's what I've been messing with. The back one's obviously easier because you have a lot more space in the top, as you can see. Front, not so much. So it will require a little bit of playing with it. All right, so I got it. Took about 2 minutes. Not too bad. Put the bolt in through the top, and then you can use this right here. Use a small pry bar. Pry right there. You're not hurting anything, right? You're just giving a, you see a little bit of play we can have. We got that, and the bolt fell right in. The back, nice and easy as well. I'm gonna go ahead and zip these. Again, these are both 19, so I'm gonna zip them just a little snug with an impact, and then we'll, like I said before, I'll throw the torque spec in the description. So I'm gonna do the center support bushing now. You can see it right there. This is a 22. You can see I got it on it right there. You can go about it like I am, with the box end of a 22 from the bottom, or you can see the opening up there. I have my seat pulled back. I'll make a separate video on how to do that later for those of you who are just getting into K-truck maintenance and repairs and don't know how to get your seat up and keep it tied back. I'll show you how to do that. With wobble extensions and a 22, you could get to that. You could also pull your center console. It's a little bit of work. A few bolts from the top. I'll make a separate video of that, but that would give you straight shot direct access to this as well. So there's a few different ways to go about it. None of them are wrong. This is just the way I'm choosing to do it right now. So let me get this bolt loose and I'll show you guys how to get the bushing out. All right, so this one took a little more fighting with. Tie rods didn't want to come out. I had to use pickle fork. I ended up splitting one of the boots because they're dry rotted as hell. So you might run into that too, so just be prepared. Try to give it a good old whack right here on the corners of it, but just couldn't get them loose no matter what. So what you're going to be looking at here, there's your tie rod ends, right? And they're going to connect that little piece you just saw in my hand, that big piece. It's going to fit right here over that bolt. The bolt's a 22. I was showing earlier, after messing with it, going from the top might be the easiest, but getting the center console out of the way is kind of a pain. So I used a long handled flex head ratchet, super long handled, like probably 3 feet, and I had enough leverage to break it loose. With a wrench, it was too tough. So it's going to fit right there, and then you're going to use a pickle fork or a hammer to get the tie rod ends out. And then the drag link, which I covered in the earlier part of the video, you have to undo that again to get it out. So once it's all out of the way, and this is what you're going to be left with, this piece right here, and there is your center bushing right here. So that's your center bushing. I'm going to use a press and just press this out and press the new one in, and then reverse installation. So I figured once I pressed mine out, another way to do it for a lot of people who don't have a press. So here's the old bushing. You can see it's beat. I mean, a lot of rust and scoring, not great. You can fit a 17 millimeter deep socket right here on the edge of it, and just give it a few good whacks, and it'll come right out. To put the other one in, you could do the same thing. You're gonna have a ring on this, right here, and this is gonna go on part of the socket, and then that'll allow you to fit that back in. That's the spacer. It's not gonna go on this side, it's gonna go on the other side. So I wanted all the rust out of the inside, so what I did was to clean it up. It looked way worse than this. I used a 2000 grit on the end of a socket. I wrapped it around a socket, put it on an impact gun, and just spun it while it was in there. Got it pretty well cleaned up. I went over it with a little touch of brake clean, and I put some sandpaper on my hands, and I went ahead and used it again to get it as good as I can get it. I'm gonna go ahead and push the new one back in, and then go from there. All right, so everything's back in now. You can see, I'm trying to get a better angle here. So that's your center support bushing in the middle of that I was showing earlier, and there's the large piece. You can see the split in the tie rod boots. Once it's all back together, I'll put the torque specs in the description below. But you're gonna put your tie rod ends back on, the nuts, the castle nuts. Do not forget your cotter pins, cotter keys, right? So that's gonna go right there to keep those from, falling off if they get loose. And then of course you have to reinstall your drag link, which we covered in the earlier part of the video. But all torque specs will be in the description along with all part numbers. Thanks for watching, guys.